All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome on to David Rodgers, a live Facebook interactive show where you, the viewer, has total input on topics of discussion regarding any subject that includes commenting, talking, or debating, not with just your host, but with each other. You control and run this show. We are just a rudder that steers this big old vessel. This is a show that is wide open with no limits as we bring it to you first. We discuss breaking news, politics, and business, sports, and other pertinent stories that affect our everyday lives. We serve the regional area to include Stark, Lake Butler, Keystone Heights, Palatka, Gainesville, Waldo, Lulu, Melrose, Hampton, Middleville, and other surrounding areas.
Lulu?
Yep.
Lulu.
If there is a story to be reported and dissected on the spot, is the first to handle it. We also discuss happenings in Florida as well as Georgia and other southeastern states. But now let me introduce the show team to the group. First, behind the controls with the video and audio is our senior producer, Mr. Command and Control, the big dog, our executive producer, Super Dave Daredevil Holland. And joining him behind the scenes, keeping the flow of this show, is our director, Michael the Dragon Slayer Heater. Up next, our operations director and advertising marketing director, John Better Than Snopes Probes. Behind the scenes, providing us with up-to-date information, our sports production assistant, Roger the Tornado Cruz.
There
you go. And our man with all things weather, Austin Storm Chaser Stevens. And now my co-host to my left, he is our historian and governmental whiz on national and world politics, Byron, fighting to help keep your freedom and rights Bagwell.
Good evening, infidels.
Oh, boy. And to my right, with local news and breaking information, Mitchell, the American scouting your lookout on terrorism and anything else that does not belong or looks out of place, Gunter.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Still got the matches.
There you go. And I'm your host, Mr. David Rodgers, the voice of the Bradford High Tornadoes, and
the Show Tony.
Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. We are coming to you live from the Bradford County Sheriff's Office. We want to thank you, our host, Sheriff Gordon Smith, and his great emergency management staff for their hospitality each and every week. Just a reminder about the new and improved ADO. So you, the viewer, has your say. Anytime a story hits near and dear to the hearts of our viewers, or you have questions or comments, we jump into ADO. This allows you, the viewers, to have complete control of our show while giving everyone equal opportunity to have their voices heard. And now, before we dive into the show, it's time to recognize our sponsors, the companies and groups that allow us to provide the services that we do. Welcome to the Sponsor Spotlight, providing some of the best cuts in town. Our very own Dave Holland and the rest of the fantastic team at Harry Business, home of the $8 haircut, located in the Deerfoot Village, open 7 days a week, 9 to 6 Monday through Saturday, and 12 to 4 on Sunday.
Go get you a haircut. They'll do you right.
Miracle Automotive and Towing in Stark and McClenny. Don't pray for a miracle. Call Miracle at 904-368-1114. 24/7, 365 days a year for all of your towing and automotive needs.
They fix cars and install turbochargers.
Maybe.
Or superchargers.
Yeah, maybe. Williams Jewelry of Stark, open 9 to 5:30, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, 9 to 4 on Wednesday, and 10 to 4 on Saturday. On the spot lawn maintenance, let the red, white, and blue take care of your green. We have your gutters and pressure washing covered and all sorts of yard maintenance needs. Just find us on Facebook or call me, 904-966-1633. Sir, yeah, they sure will. Service First Mobile Small Engine Repair in McRae. Let Chuck Scarberry come to you. Call 904-703-5136 to schedule an appointment. Schuster and Sabin Law Firm out of Jacksonville, Florida. If you've been injured in an accident, visit www.pitlaw.com. And last but certainly not least, and our newest sponsor, North Jacksonville Complete Dentistry with Doctors Johnson and Baxter. They've got all of your dental needs covered. Located conveniently on Dunn Avenue in Jacksonville, call Dan Baxter at 904-751-4958. And mention on the spot and get 10% off. How about that? Our newest sponsor, and that is awesome.
Get your teeth fixed.
Yeah, and how about if you would like to become one of our sponsors, call John Snopes, Better Than Snopes Probes, at 904-782-69 7101 or email the team at onthespot32091@gmail.com. And now it's time to get started with our prayer, our pledge, and our patriotic quote of the week. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you would please, as we always do, please bow our head and let's say a prayer. Our righteous Heavenly Father, let us once thank again for a wonderful and glorious day you've given us, dear Lord. Thank you for this beautiful weekend. Thank you for letting us be able to do this show with this great team that we have, dear Lord. As we bring the information to the viewers, let the viewers decide what's going on as we bring that information. Thank you, dear Lord, for letting us have a great week. Next week, as we go throughout our work week, thank you for the food we receive each and every day as it goes into the nourishment of our bodies and our bodies to thy service. If there's any unspoken prayer requests or even spoken prayer requests, dear Lord, that you touch each and every one of those individuals. Thank you again for letting us live in the world's greatest country in the world today, dear Lord, the freest country, the United States of America, and the greatest armed forces in the world, dear Lord, our United States Armed Forces. Thank you again for everything that you do. Thank you for everything that you will do for us. And we ask for these things in your Son's name, Jesus Christ. And the congregation says,
Amen.
All right, if we can stand up, please, and let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. And Mr. Mitchell Gunner, if you'll lead us in the pledge, please, sir.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen. All right. And now, I'm going to turn it over to my left, to our historian, Mr. Byron Bagwell. What's the patriotic quote of the week, sir?
Well, this one's a little one from Samuel Adams, and I'm not sure if I've done this one before or not, but I figured it was appropriate for the things that are going on in our nation right now.
Right.
Power is intoxicating, and men legally vested with it too often discover a disposition to make ill use of it, and an unwillingness to part with it.
Wow.
That's Samuel Adams.
I want to add a quote to that too, Byron.
Sure.
It's not my patriotic quote, but I just happened to see this come across my email today. No act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted.
No.
Can you tell me who said that? Can anybody tell me who that quote is from?
Lincoln?
No, sort of close. No, not even, no, I can't even say it's close.
Bobby Bowden?
Mm-mm.
No.
Aesop said that.
Oh,
Aesop, yep.
Really?
Mr. Aesop said that. So no act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted. Now, it's time to get started with our quick and dirty. One person is dead and a home damaged in the Creekside subdivision just off Southwest Sisters Welcome Road near the Cannon Creek Airport in Columbia County due to a plane crash and fire. The single-engine plane went down around 10 this morning, crashing next to a home that also caught fire. The National Transportation Safety Board and Columbia County Sheriff's Office are investigating this deal right now, and a lot of guys are worried that this hit their home because I work over there at New Millennium. Nobody's home that I work with got hit, so thank goodness, and I hope everything's okay there. A man is lucky to be alive after being stabbed at the Whiskey River Saloon on Temple Avenue in Stark early this morning. Multiple units from the Stark Police Department and the Bradford County Sheriff's Office responded around 2 o'clock or so this morning for a male stabbed in the back. The man was transported from a Gainesville hospital in serious condition, and the investigation is still ongoing. Putnam County firefighters, along with Melrose Fire Department, battled a house fire on Willow Way off Gordon Chapel Road, east of Hawthorne last night. The home suffered significant damage, but there were no injuries, thank God. The State Fire Marshal's office is investigating. All right, so we're going to get started here. Mitchell, I know we're going to do some local stuff, right, but you know, as always here on the spot, and again, thank you for joining us on the spot with David Rodgers. Glad to have you guys on tonight, a beautiful Saturday night. We always like to have guests and special people come on, and man, you know, oh, I forgot about him, didn't I? Yeah, boy, we got to have that. You ain't kidding. So sorry, let me back up about 4 steps. So Here we go, Austin. Come on in and give our weather report here, Austin. Austin's going to give us a weather report, and you can catch that on his Facebook page, and he'll tell you exactly how to get there. Austin, give us a weather report. Welcome in. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight, mostly clear skies, low 42 to 37, and southern Georgia will be about the same. And out towards Pascagoula, Mississippi, and along the I-10 corridor, expect rainy conditions starting from west to east starting Monday.
And how can they find this weather report, Austin?
You can find this weather report on Facebook by searching up Austin's Weather Service. You can go to facebook.com/Austin's Weather Service.
And there you go. Thank you, Austin. And I'm going to have you come back toward the end of the show and give that weather report again. Thank you very much, Austin, for that weather report. Again, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to On the Spot with David Rodgers. Again, we're going to get into our local news. We're going to get into some national things that are going on, and we're going to delve into some sports as well. But as always, you know, we've had several guests come on our shows quite frequently. A lot of our sponsors have come on our show. We've had a couple of other people. We had Kevin Kedgley last week. But a guy that's near and dear to all our hearts, a guy that's big into our community, always giving back, you know. And not only that, but the guy's talented. Hey, got a little thing going on, can sing and play the guitar. So he can. Yeah, and he's going to show you that he can. So, are you ready? So I'm going to ask Byron if he just step out for just a second. And ladies and gentlemen, for your treat and your special deal right here that On the Spot gives to you, we're going to bring in our local hometown boy, Mr. Jimmy Clark, and his beautiful daughter, Natalie. Come on in and join us on here, Jimmy, On the Spot, baby.
What up, peeps? What up?
All right. Yeah, we slide just a little bit here. We're going to get everybody in there. Jimmy, before you play, man, thank you for coming on. You know, you've been on the show before. As I was saying, you're big into the community. You do all kinds of things within the community. You were a big integral part on getting our football field done, the scoreboard that you see, that beautiful scoreboard that you see. And we want to thank you for all that you do in that case. But I want to talk a little bit about your musical background and stuff. So before we get to that, though, I know that you've told people how you've gotten here and everything. Just give a little bit of background about yourself and, you know, how you got started in this whole thing.
Yeah, so, I mean, I guess the simple version, because it's one of those, like, ever-changing stories, ultimately, is you go through elements in your life, I think, all, not just adults, but everyone. You know, Natalie's 16 now. She's going through, you know, mostly good, but I'm saying going through things in life that cause you to have to make decisions.
Right.
And somehow or another, my decision kind of brought me into a musical element, which was revisiting old childhood stuff. You know, grew up singing in church and grew up a part of music in multiple backgrounds. And then I guess ultimately for anybody that knows me relatively well, they understand I'm not the normalest guy, most normal guys. So,
would that be true? No.
So it kind of took off from there. And again, to speed that story up, it just becomes something that I got really serious with as far as the dreamer side.
Right.
And then now it's just a maturation process is what I call it. It's almost like you're almost backtracking all the time to go back and figure out how you should have done the year differently. And like 2020 is definitely one of those years where I kind of stay away from a lot of cliche sayings.
Right.
But at the end of the day, 2020 is a lot about looking back on what I did in 2019 where I didn't accomplish something I could have.
Right.
Or didn't enact something that I should have. So that all of that plays into ultimately how I got to where I am. And where I am is, I mean, it's hard to explain because like it is special. You don't want to underestimate the value that not only that you've bought, but that's been brought back to me and the things I've been able to be a part of. Even Natalie has been able to take part in some things in the last few months that are pretty special that even for country music artists is not an everyday occurrence.
Right.
And I try not to forget that, but it's also a business that is built on being hungry.
Right.
So you kind of have to have that, you know, I very cliche use the saying all the time, you know, you shoot for the stars, shoot from the moon, even if you miss, you're amongst the stars.
Right.
And that's something that becomes literally a daily thing. You wake up and it's like, what can I do today that's going to push it? And it's something it's very hard to do and, you know, raise a family and go through normal everyday life things.
Right.
And that's ultimately, I guess, the big bulk part of the story of what's going on with me.
You know, we always talk about the local hometown boy thing, and I've done a couple of things with you, a couple of events, and I love doing those things with you because you're just such a just a down to earth guy. You know what I mean? Just you'll talk with anybody. You know, some people let that fame go to their heads. You know what I mean? But you don't. You're just down to earth, man. Every time I see you, you're out talking amongst all your people and the people that follow you and your fans and everybody. And like I said, it's been a pleasure for me to work with you on a couple of events that we've done. But some people don't know about your background when you grew up here in Stark. You was a heck of a football player a day or so ago, wasn't you?
I might have done a little bit.
You may have done a little something, just a little something. Tell everybody, what position you play?
I was a tight end and linebacker.
Yeah, tight end linebacker. Yep. Had some offers, a couple of little offers, right?
A little bit.
Little bit. I got you. I got you. So, local hometown boy here. He's got his beautiful daughter, Natalie. Thank you, Natalie, for coming on to the show. We really love having you. Like I said, 2019 was pretty big for Clark Hill.
Yeah, it was a
good
year, man.
Yeah.
I was just talking actually with you last night.
Yeah.
You had a really good first half of the year, and the cool thing is, what's so great about music is it becomes a commonality that as long as you can, just to be frank, as long as you can keep your mouth shut about certain things, you can reach the masses.
Right.
One of the things I learned, like even as a Christian, one of the things I've learned is the idea that we're all destined to reach people in different ways.
Right.
And my destiny obviously was not being the guy that could, reach you from a pulpit or from within a certain environment.
Right.
And sometimes for me, I'm a loudmouth. I'm the guy that's passionate in everything I do, and I want to push it, and I want to win the argument, and I'm always so task oriented, right?
Right.
But at the end of the day, and ultimately to affect people for the better, you have to find that common ground, and you have to focus on that primarily.
Right.
Which is hard for a person of my personality type ultimately,
right? Because
I am so passionate, and if I believe in something, I'm gonna believe in it wholeheartedly.
Right.
I'm very willing to express that.
Right.
So, you look at say 2019 for me was a big part of if I really am destined, as some people say, to maybe reach the masses.
I think
there's some processes I have to go through that have to humble me a little bit.
Right.
And I use the word specifically as a father. I use that word maturation process.
Mm-hmm.
The first half part of 2019 was amazing. I went to New York, LA, Austin, Dallas, obviously Nashville. I was a part of the Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Became a CMA nomination voter. So I'm one of the 100 artists that vote in the CMAs every year.
Hey, there you go.
I went to ASCAP in LA, got to take my dad on his first trip to LA.
Wow.
I went to Austin, Texas for CMAs. I'm in Dallas, Texas. I do all these different things. And then the second half of the year was followed with a pretty severe sickness and then a change in life circumstances, which, ultimately in a town like this, everyone knows already, but, I'm divorced now, and it's something that you're not expecting. You're not foreseeing that part of your future.
Right.
And then a lot of cliche things kind of pop in your head where you basically realize that you're living the consequences of whether it been 6 months ago, 6 years ago, or when you're 12. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Everything, all of that hit you at once,
mm-hmm.
and that was the second half of 2019. Which ultimately, the good thing about that is it became more of the artistry. It became more, what is the story of 2020? What is my mission? What am I trying to accomplish in my artistry?
Right. And I know that that we've done, like I said, we've done a couple of things together. I know you're very passionate, first of all, about your community, mm-hmm. where you grew up at. You like to give back.
Right.
You're very passionate about your country. I know that. You bleed the red, white, and blue.
Yes,
there's no doubt about that.
Yes,
I know you love our armed forces, but we've also got involved with firefighters, mm-hmm. our local police, local sheriff, and you're very passionate about that, about our first responders, I guess, if I can just put it that way.
Absolutely.
And of course, we've done a couple of events regarding that. Will you tell the people what we were involved in here this last half of the year, and that is coming up in 2020 again?
Yeah. So the funny thing about how that actually worked too was my passion towards Stark has always been that. The more I travel, the more I see. And mm-hmm. ultimately, the more you see, the more wisdom
mm-hmm.
you gain. Not intelligence. I don't consider myself a smart person.
Right.
But what's happening is if I wake up in a new city today, that city's going to turn totally different than Stark, Florida does.
Yes.
I mean, it just does. There's different cultures. There's different everything.
Right.
It doesn't matter. So my thing is, like with my kids, I've really pushed to raise them that I want them to spread their wings. I want them to go see what the world has to offer. And then if they desire to come back to Stark, they actually have something to offer.
Right.
Okay. So Crawling for the Fallen.
Yes.
Was coming to town, and I'm so involved on that side of like just the dreamer side of what's going on in the community.
Right.
And when it kind of just by chance, the short version of the story, by chance just happened to be like, hey, We had a sponsor step in, wanted to cover some costs and do some things. Next thing you know, it's like, hey, we're going to try to benefit this organization.
Right.
And the biggest reason why I wanted to push that was not just because of who it was for. Obviously, that's a no-brainer, but honestly was to push back into the community, was to give that group that's not from Stark reason to believe that Stark would support them, that there would be more than just a simple, like, oh, it's an event. No. We wanted them to think that they had support from all angles, whether it be physical help, monetary help, spiritual help, it doesn't matter. Ideally, they felt we wanted them to feel supported by the community. So that's why also myself and Kurt from Miracle got involved and wanted to, whether it be $2 or not, wanted to give back to them.
Right, and that's great. And I tell you, you're a guy that always gives back, and we're glad to have you on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just now joining us on the spot with David Rodgers, coming live to you here from the EOC building, the Sheriff's Office right here. Want to thank Sheriff Gordon Smith for letting us host our show here each and every week. I've got Mr. Jimmy Clark and his lovely daughter, Natalie, from Clark Hill. And Jimmy, you know, no pun intended, I want to put you on the spot if that's okay. Do you mind playing a couple of songs for us, big guy?
No.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up right here for Mr. Jimmy Clark and his daughter, Natalie. They're going to play us a song or two right here. Jimmy Clark, ladies and gentlemen.
Lord, I know I shouldn't be here drinking you away. But God, I couldn't find a better place to pray. Sitting on this bar pew, thinking of her, when I should be talking to you. So bartender, please give me a black label sermon. Pour me a glass of Kentucky Communion. Open up the Bourbon Bible and read me a verse. Breathe this next drink of whiskey, else we give up on her. I drank through the gospel, Jack, Mark, Jim, and John. I dance with the devil to see which side she's on. I pray to the beer tap where old breath sings slow. One thing I can't answer, where the hell did she go? So bartender, please give me a black label sermon. Pour me a glass of Kentucky Communion. Open up the Bourbon Bible and read me a verse. Breathe this next drink of whiskey, else we give up on her. So bartender, please give me a black label sermon. Pour me a glass of Kentucky Communion. Open up the Bourbon Bible and read me a verse. Breathe this next drink of whiskey, else we give up on her. Breathe this next drink of whiskey, else we give up on her.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jimmy Clark right here and his lovely daughter, Natalie. Come on in, slide in a little bit, Jimmy. I'm going to let y'all center up. All right. Can I ask for one more? Can you do one more for me?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Again, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jimmy Clark going to do one more for you. This lovely daughter, Natalie.
Huh? Yeah? How about a new one?
Yeah.
Been a long time coming for me to walk away. This bottle's been empty for days.
down in the bottom where my heart lays. I search for the words that I'll say. I've been a feeling this for too long to let it all go. This ain't worth fighting for. I'm done holding back. This pain has been real. I found love fails. I have always. I pour out my heart and fill up my glass and get on my knees and I pray this will pass. I'll be damned if I let it all end with a drink in my, with a drink in my hand. I feel like I'm waiting for a lifetime of change to find what's been one drink away. So I empty the bottle and I pour down the drain, washing my sorrows away. I've been feeling this for too long to let it all go. This ain't worth fighting for. I'm done holding back. This pain has been real. I found when love fails, I have always. I pour out my heart and fill up my glass. I get on my knees and I pray this will pass. I'll be damned if I let it all end with a drink in my hand. With a drink in my hand. I'm done holding back. This pain has been real. I found when love fails, I have no way to heal. I pour out my heart and fill up my glass. I get on my knees and I pray this will pass. I'll be damned if I let it all end with a drink in my hand. 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 With a drink in my hand.
Woo! Mr. Jimmy Clark, Miss Natalie right here. All right, Jimmy. I know I asked for two.
All right.
When we was over at Miracle Automotive,
Uh-huh.
you sang a song over there.
Ooh.
One of my favorites.
The new one?
Yes.
Oh,
Can you?
sure.
One more for
All
Mr.
these-
Jimmy Clark. I got it
These
here.
are all drinking songs, and I
I-
don't even really drink that much. That's what
I know. That's what's funny because
But
you
so
don't.
here's the cool thing, and I'll
Right.
I'll tell you this because
Okay.
when you ask, like, a lot of times I just don't do stuff like this. It's
Right.
it's tough work where you're like, what are we trying to accomplish?
Right.
But the cool thing is like the plan this year is to set out on some new, we call it product. Okay. It's a brand. It's a product.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, it is a storytelling business, and my goal is to be that storyteller. So,
Right.
what are we doing? What are we fighting with? And, I always talk about, I'm very open about it. One of my biggest fears in life is the demon of alcohol.
Right.
But at the same time, I also decide that I don't want to allow that fear to grip me and control me. So it's a tough, if you want to call it a balancing act, I think that's probably a disrespectful way to say it, but ultimately It's a tough balancing act.
Right.
To decide, am I capable? Am I able? Do I have the support system to go to Nashville and be a part of an industry that has a lot of alcohol involved in it? And can I go out to the downtown grill, or can I be a part of things
Right.
and be around alcohol, but never let it control me? And that's kind of, as you'll tell the stories with all tonight's songs, is that's where this version of this year's story from Clark Hill is going to have a lot of to do with, is my belief in that and my fear in that. So
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll do one more. It's called Another Round. I'm thinking
That's the one. That's the one. Yeah. Another round, ladies and gentlemen, right here, Mr. Jimmy Clark. And Miss Natalie.
Is this one of those times you're sick of my lies, so you silence your phone? Got a face down on the bar, hoping that I'll finally leave you alone. I'm guessing you're singing and maybe believing those old gospel songs. I'm afraid maybe this time you've made up your mind and now you're gone. So if the whiskey gets you tipsy, ain't you miss me all night long? Maybe that half-empty glass of memories is calling you back home. So one more shot, one more round, one more song to drown it out. If the whiskey makes you miss me, baby, just stay for another round. Wish I could say that you're dreaming, that's just what you're drinking when you're calling me back. But you know and I know that there's no coming back from a lie like that. I've hoped and I pray that one day I can say that I figured it out. So it hurts to admit that you'd be better to quit than come back to what we have right now. So if the whiskey gets you tipsy, makes you miss me all night long, maybe that half-empty glass of memories is calling you back home. So one more shot, one more round, one more song to drown it out. If the whiskey makes you miss me, baby, just stay for another round. So if the whiskey gets you tipsy, makes you miss me all night long, maybe that half-empty glass of memories is calling you back home. So one more shot, one more round, one more song to drown it out. If the whiskey makes you miss me, if the whiskey makes you miss me, if the whiskey makes you miss me, baby, just stay for another round.
Hey, Mr. Jimmy Clark, Miss Natalie right here, part of the Clark Hill Band right here, baby.
Hey, Jimmy, I've been there.
Yeah.
I think we all have.
Before I let you go, I want to thank you for coming on and doing this. I know you, every time we've been really good friends for a long time, and anytime you come here, I try to ask you to do something, and you always respond.
Thank you, man. Absolutely.
And anytime I would love for you to come back. I know you're going to be doing some traveling and some things going on. Tell the audience what you're going to be doing here just in the next couple of months, what you got cooking and what you got going on.
Yeah, the main thing will be, so February comes up, I'll go to CRS, which is called Country Radio Seminar.
Right.
To be brutally honest, it's just a big politic and networking event. Okay. All your program directors from the country are in, and ideally, if you're invited, you get the opportunity basically to meet them one-on-one, which is ultimately how you get your songs played. It really is. There's a lot of financing that goes into it, but at the end of the day, some of it's name recognition. But you have roughly 100 songs every Tuesday night that are released to radio,
wow.
And you got maybe 2 spots. So me as a new artist, say compared to, if Carrie Underwood releases a song on Tuesday night,
right,
it's going to go into rotation, period.
Right.
It's Carrie Underwood.
Right,
so,
of course.
So 100 artists, and it's not just 100 new artists. It may be Dierks Bentley and Eric Church, like you have down the line, and you're going to have 2 brand new songs. And, if you're the program director, the goal is that I came in and you met me and you were like, man, this guy's cool. I want to give him a shot. And I really like the song, and they throw it in rotation. That's ultimately how you get your song to climb the charts. So CRS is years of getting to know those guys, right, and ladies, so that they ideally, hopefully like me. So this is my third invite to CRS. I'm very, very honored to be a part of it.
Absolutely.
And then, right around that same time, the goal is to finish some co-writing. Been blessed to start to rack up some pretty notable co-writers, and I'm going to hopefully hopefully turn out a couple hits. I mean, that's always the
Of
goal.
course.
That's what you go for.
Yeah.
But also try to tell some good stories and then release new content. And then, by fall is hopefully be touring that content. So
Man, that would be so awesome. I want to go over to Natalie for just a second. Natalie, you got a beautiful voice, by the way, right, ladies and gentlemen? Miss Natalie's got a beautiful voice. Natalie, I know you traveled with your dad a little bit, right? How often do you get to travel and go with him on some of the different things that he goes and does, like some of the touring and some things like that?
Usually every couple months, really, whenever I can get a free spot, he's usually like, "Hey, Nat, you want to go?" So just whenever I'm able, really.
Right. And now, are you a permanent member of the band, or are you sort of you're going to take over Dad's spot one day? I know this is what's going to happen right here. So, because I did see you perform over when we did our last little event. So, and like I said, I know you have a beautiful voice, but I'm sure you are definitely a full member. Of course, Dad's going to put you in there, right? I'm not putting you on the spot or anything.
I'm hoping to keep doing more shows.
Good. You got a beautiful voice, and I know your dad recognizes that, and that's why he's got you as part of the band. Do you like traveling? Do you like to travel and go to the different cities and things like that? So how do you like Nashville?
Nashville is probably my favorite.
I imagine, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Are you a Tennessee Titans fan?
I'm not.
You're not. You're a Jaguars fan, right?
I can be.
You can be. Okay. We're not putting you on the spot.
She's a Nashville Predator fan.
Nashville Predators. Okay, yeah.
I like
the hockey. Okay, I got you.
I think it's the accents and the
And the couple of little things that go on there. I got you. Again, ladies, join us on the spot. We have Mr. Jimmy Clark and his lovely daughter, Natalie Clark Hill. Last time, I don't think we told people how they could follow you. Would you like to have an opportunity here to tell everybody how they can follow you, how they can get on the Clark Hill rotation, as I'd like to say?
I mean, it's about as easy as they come. You just search for Clark Hill, pretty much everything. So it's all the social media tags are all Clark Hill music.
Right.
So whether it be YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, you name it, it's all Clark Hill music if you get the direct tag. But luckily, I'm pretty sure, I think everything on social media, I'm a verified badges now. So as soon as you start typing in Clark, it's going to be one of the first things that come up. So
great.
So just look up Clark Hill and then for all my hometown folks, keep calling me Jimmy, making me feel like I'm at home. And
keep calling. I love it. You got it, Jimmy. Yeah.
People ask me all the time, like, because you get out on the road, you go by Clark Hill, and it's there's some cool elements to having a different persona per se, because it's almost like a second chance in life. In other ways, you get an opportunity to basically write your own story that you're getting to kind of dictate. Right. But luckily, I'm very much so into bringing my history, my good and bad history, along the ride for me. So it's just, I always joke that Clark Hill's, not a name or a place. It's just kind of who I want to be. Right. So when I come home, though, and people say, Jimmy, it definitely it lets you guard down. I joke all the time. Somebody's like, in Walmart, be like, oh, that's Clark. I'm like, you put on that big smile, if they're Jimmy, you're just like, Jimmy, he's back home now. So it's funny. But thank you guys so much for showing me love all the time. It means the world.
Man, let me tell you what, we have all talked about this, and you all these boys and girls up in here. So we love having you. We want to see you have great success for sure. And we would love for you to come back next time you're in town. I know you're going to be, like I said, going to be going to Nashville, doing some different things. But next time you come into town, please pick up the phone and holler at me, man. And let's come on. Let's do a couple songs. And you, by the way, you have to come along next time as well. Yes, so, yeah, if Dad comes, you got to come too. So, again, Jimmy Clark and Natalie, what you got? You got something?
I was going to tell him next time, bring some more of that 3-4 time love. Like in the second song, bring some more of that back.
Thanks a lot. All right. Thanks a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jimmy Clark and Miss Natalie right here from Clark Hill. Wow. Well, right here on the spot, ladies and gentlemen, we bring it all to you, don't we? Hey, we got a local hometown boy right here that's trying to make it big. And I'm going to tell you something right now, Mitchell and Byron.
Every time he comes on, it makes me want to pick my guitar up.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yes.
Yes, it does.
So,
I
it
wish
just
I could
gives
make
a vibe.
lyrics float like that.
God, hey. It gives you that vibe, man. Now I've got energy like out the yin-yang, ready to do this show. Got Mr. Mike Walls over here. Got Mr. John Probst. Got Austin Stevens. We've got Dave Holland. We've got Mr. Michael Heater. We got Mr. Mitchell Gunner. Hey, with some stuff here. But anyway, we wanted to get that in, ladies and gentlemen. Anytime that we can bring somebody on, Byron. We've all talked about this. We definitely want to do that. And this is an up-and-coming artist right here. We like it because he's a local hometown boy that loves everybody. You know what I mean? And he gets along with everybody. Hey, what do you say about Jimmy? Hey, well, let my guard. You know what I mean? Right. But we know him as Jimmy. And that's the way it is with us here in Bradford County.
Well, when people do what they're doing like he does,
yeah,
they need that.
Yeah.
Because everything is Clark or Hill.
Yeah.
And when they come home, they really need that familiarity from the people that they know.
Right.
That business he is in
is tough.
It's constant.
It's constantly tough.
Somebody always wants something from you, and when you're standing there and somebody goes, "Hey, Jimmy," instead of "Hey, Clark," I guarantee you the first few people that do that, he's like,
yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Thank God.
Thank God.
I can be back.
I can be back in my roots.
Yep. Right.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, when he goes to this seminar here coming up in a few weeks, I really hope that they do sit down with him, because if they listen to some of that music he just played right there, he'll be well on his way.
And just think, guys, that was all a cappella, really. I mean, it was right there, right here for you, coming through this little microphone. That second song was beautiful, wasn't it? I like the last song. The last song is my favorite.
Well, what you don't hear very often anymore in country music, you hear a lot of stuff that's the same.
Yep.
What you don't hear is you don't hear anything in 3 anymore, hardly. Right. And that one was definitely in 3, and it was definitely well written. And I've just lost a bunch of people by saying it was in 3. It's just it's basically when you think 3, think waltz or think
Yeah, some kind of
waltz across. Using an old
cliche term.
Using an old dance term, waltzing across Texas. That's what 3 is.
Right.
1, 2,
3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yep, you're right.
I was sitting there listening to it and going, people don't write stuff like that anymore.
I don't know right now. He's got me fired up. I can tell you that. So let's go to some comments. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on the spot with David Rodgers. To my right, I got the lookout and the scout and hitting some local news, Mr. Mitchell Gunner, here in just a second or so.
I was going to sing, but I can't follow that act.
Oh, really?
No.
Well, let me say something here. You couldn't follow before then.
Probably not.
I'm only messing with you. You can sing. I've heard you. Mr. Barnwell can sing. And I tell you, I was going to put Jimmy on the spot and say, why don't you and Byron delve into a little duo the next time he's in? Hey, I may plug that in his ear.
We can do that, but we need to figure out what we're going to do.
What you're going to do.
And
get practice before.
We don't necessarily. Don't necessarily need to practice it too much because.
By the way, you better get your guitar tuned up because I'm probably going to ask you to play something. So, so why don't you start getting ready here? Let me know when you're ready, and we're going to jam it up. How about that?
Is it time to bring back the theme song?
Well, it could be. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So let me get to some people here. Noah Gibson, thank you. Renee, thank you for joining us. Vincent Tucker from Arizona. I actually talked to Vincent Tucker today. Doing good out there. He's got me a little story from Arizona. So if you haven't seen him, he's got his own show out there. The problem is for us, it's a little bit later. It comes on. If you want to catch it live, it comes on at 10:30, right?
Right.
Yeah. 10:30 here, 7:30 his time. But he's got a great show, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to put that out here in just a little bit. Wayne Goins, thank you. Ellen, thank you for joining us. Here we go with Noah. My God, I can't get away from those minions. Kevin Kedgley, our guest from last week, he was on. So there he is. Ellen, thank you. That was awesome. Eddie Sigmund, Dwight Allen, Loop Life, baby. There you go. Mr. Dwight Allen joining us here in the studio audience. I just got to hear Clark Hill. Kevin Kedgley, thank you for having me on the show last weekend. I had a great time and hope to be on there again soon. Perhaps then I can discuss all the new productions I'm a part of. Absolutely, Kevin. All you got to do is hit us up, hit Mr. John Probst up, and we'll get it set up. We need to have a little
conversation about the quote from Martin Orton.
Yeah, something come across my Facebook page that really bothered. I support Trump 100%, but his Trump flag has no business being flown along with our American flag. That should only be military or state flags. Am I right or wrong, Byron? Do we want to get into that? Do you want to?
Technically, you're right because you're not supposed to.
That's
fly
true.
Anything but America's flags.
Right.
Underneath it, and you're flying a flag of a politician. there's a lot of people that will look at you and say it's fine as long as it's not above the American flag, which it depends on who you talk to.
Right.
I mean, can you say flying the Gadsden flag underneath the American flag?
Yeah.
Or can you do that? I mean, the people that know the history of the Gadsden flag knows you should be able to, because it's one of our basically our military's flags. Or how about the Betsy Ross flag? Should you fly it underneath it?
Well,
any of the other
how about
flags.
this?
How about George Washington's military flag that he flew? Not a lot of people have seen that, but could you do that? It's
okay. Let me give you another one. Let me give you another one. Let me give you
But-
another one. And I don't want to spend too much. Let me give you another one. What was the only state that was a republic?
That would be the Republic of Texas.
Texas.
Do you know they fly the flag the same?
They shouldn't.
Really?
They shouldn't.
Texas, I know Texas State. I know.
Texas
So we
is.
can
I
get
love-
into that, and we
I love
will.
what Texas did with
Yeah.
the Constitution when they entered
Yeah.
the Union.
Yep.
But you shouldn't fly the state flag at the same height as
Right.
you shouldn't.
Right.
So
So anyway, Melissa Garber, thank you for joining us. Kevin Kedgley, that's where you can catch him at right there, ladies and gentlemen. Cool props. He makes props, by the way, that you were sort of interested in. Yeah, so,
I meant to get back.
oh, not this guy. Is this guy on again? Billy Rayberg? Oh, boy. Dwight Allen, as long as it is not above the American flag, agreed. Barton says, yes, you are.
That was me replying to him
To
earlier.
him. Chuck Wilson, thank you. Donald Stevens, good evening. Noah, good evening.
Everybody.
Yeah, entertainment. Yeah, any chance we get, we do. Tara, how you doing?
Tara.
Yeah, Renee said lovely harmonies there. Yeah, Mike Qualls is. Mike Qualls done? Oh, okay. Yeah, he's here, isn't he? I think
Well,
so.
welcome from the other side of the desk.
I think him and my buddy Benton Blunt, who was on America's Got Talent season 10, should get together and put on a great concert. How about that? I'll pass that on to Jimmy Clark, Vincent Tucker. No doubt about it. I'm sure that Jimmy would look like some openings there. Hey, he'd entertain anything. Joey Knapp. He'd been on in a while. How you doing, Joey? Carlton Jones. Hey, can anyone find out why they spent so much money and time to open up an access road in Strawberry Acres for it only to be used if a train is parked on the tracks, which does not happen, but for the cost of the road that is not open to the public? Seems a little high unless they were able to get CSX to pay for it. Carlton Jones, you're going to hear it first right here on the spot from my man, Mr. Mitchell Gunner. Tell him all about it,
All
Mitchell.
right, CSX paid for the crossing work across at Northeast 204th Terrace at Strawberry Acres. This crossing was one of the many crossings being upgraded along the line from Baldwin south to Ocala. The secondary road installed by the Bradford County Road Department was placed so that trains that does stop, you will at least have emergency exit at one of the other crossings. So, and that's not just been put in place for emergency vehicles, but is also put in place for school buses.
Tell them where Strawberry Acres is, and
Yeah.
tell them where is this area right here exactly? Do you know exactly where that's at? Or
Yes,
Mike?
it's going to be kind of north of, north of Stark off of 301.
Okay.
It is about, how close is it to Lawdy?
Is it in between?
I know
It's
where
about
you're
three-
talking- I know where
3
you're talking
miles.
about.
3 miles south.
Yeah.
3 miles
Yeah.
south. So.
Yeah, it's gonna be north of the bypass interchange, about 3 miles south of Lawdy on the east side of the road
Right.
where the tracks are.
Where the tracks are.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now I know where you're talking.
Right.
I'm sitting there going, I'm trying to figure out what that was.
I know it's pretty close to Lawdy. So.
All right. Dorothy Starling, thank you for joining us. Look at Vincent Tucker hollering at his, hey, Benton, bro, you need to hear this guy. He's good. Yeah, he is, Vincent. I'll tell you. Where's Benton? Can you go back down, Dave, just a second? I wanted to read Mr. Benton. I'm sorry, big guy. No, I'm sorry. Go back up, Dave. I'm sorry. I was just trying to get to
We
that one
already
there.
have. I think he's
Oh, has he right there? Okay. So,
good.
yeah, we already have. Okay. That's awesome, bro. JJ Thompson, thank you. Austin's Weather Service is here. Monica Nicole Roden, thank you for joining us. John Probst joined us. Good grief. There you go. So, David, apparently Benton and Jimmy have already played together in concert. Wish I could have seen that. I wish I could have, too. I want to hear Mr. Benton. Obviously, he's pretty good, too. So, hey, there you go. Anybody that's that musically talented, like my man over here to the left is, I know he won't say. He's going to say no.
I can't write
No,
lyrics
no,
like that, man.
no, but you can sing it. I've heard your voice, brother.
I can't write lyrics like that. It comes.
Yeah.
I try to write
Yeah.
love songs or try to write stuff that like what he was singing, and it comes out really cheesy.
Right. Noah Gibson says, "Hey, John, did you see that, John? Yeah. Hey, Bethany Espert. Hey, how you doing, Noah Gibson? I'm a Tampa Bay Buccaneers rooter. Well, let me give you something, Noah, that I haven't said in a while. Let me see. The Kansas City Chiefs, correct me if I'm wrong, and the San Francisco 49ers in the Super Bowl, right? Any other team sucks. So your Tampa Bay Buccaneers suck. My Jacksonville Jaguars suck. His Washington Redskins suck.
My Dallas Cowboys
Yeah, suck. Your Bengals really suck. Yeah.
I felt bad
So,
because I used to be a Dallas Cowboys fan and a Jaguar fan. Now he's talking to the Bengals. Ooh.
yeah. So, Dorothy Starling, good evening. Jeff Riggins joined us. He works with me over there. Let's, what does Noah get? What else has Noah got there? Some say that I got energy, period. Well, okay, that's still to be seen. Hey, y'all, I went to my doctor the other day, see if I can get a mobility scooter, and they are telling me if I can use it in my room, I don't need it, but I can't even take my trash out because I can walk that far. As y'all know, I was in a bad accident in 2018 and messed up my left hip and right foot. So please pray that I get my mobility scooter. If I don't or don't know what I'm going to do because I can't afford to buy one, thank y'all. I'm going to tell you right now, Archie, we could probably, with the network of guys that we got, we could probably help out somehow or another, or we can at least research it.
Here is something else you can do. There are places that have those, not that you go out and buy them brand new, but there are places that actually take those in. And I know there's a couple in Lake City, and I know there's a couple in Gainesville. You start looking at the hospice addicts.
Right.
And you might be able to find one that you can actually afford, and you might even be able to talk them into letting you make payments on it that would be really, really cheap. That would be a good place to go and take a look. Some of the churches actually have equipment rooms where they take stuff like that, take donations from people, and the churches will just give you that stuff. So you might want to check some of that out. The chances of a scooter being in a church is probably pretty small, but there are some places you can go look for that type of stuff.
Vincent Tucker said, music business constantly changes. Support your local artists. Buy music, buy merchandise. Most music nowadays are streaming or for downloads. Artists get so much for each song, not much. So buy what you can or go to their concerts and support them.
That's right.
Definitely so. Archie, here we go. 211 United Way Social Services, wheelchairs and possible scooter support. Free call right there. Archie, 211 United Way Social Services, wheelchairs and possibly scooters support right there. So give them a call, Archie. We'll try to see what we can do as well, because we're here about helping. We're here about trying to pay forward. We want to pay it forward. If we can help somebody out, not only is that going to help you, it's going to make us feel good as well for doing something for somebody. I know when I do something for somebody, and you gentlemen do as well, it makes you feel good, man. Man, it just pumps your heart, man. It makes you feel good. Got something accomplished. And that's what it's all about. And that's what we as human beings should be about, and is helping each other out. So we're definitely going to do that.
Every single day on my job.
Every single day. You got that right. If you guys are playing Jimmy Horton songs, I want in. All right. Renee Stegall Shaw says, thank you. Thanking you, Austin, for the weather reports over there. Great job. Yeah. Christina Paget, thank you for joining us. Noah Gibson, my new homework is finding George Washington's military flag. Tom Bailey from Alabama is on. Carlton Jones, signs are posted on only EMS vehicles. All right. Clarify that.
While you're looking for George Washington's military flag, actually find the flag of the Confederacy and post it so people will actually know what they think is the Confederate flag is actually not the Confederate flag.
Right.
That would be a good thing to do.
Jeff Riggins, remember the Alamo? Absolutely. South of Lottie by 301. Yeah, we got that, Noah. Absolutely. Saints don't suck. They got robbed. Well, Renee, I know they may have gotten robbed 2 years in a row, or Saints fans think so because I'm a Saints fan as well. But I still got two words for you. They suck. Yeah.
I'm just glad I'm not having to watch New England play in
Oh,
another.
thank
Super
Yeah, well,
Bowl.
thank God on that too.
Oh, thank God.
You can say Buccaneers suck, David, because my team is not the Jags.
I heard something happened with the Buccaneers too, by the way.
What happened with the Bucs?
And I don't know if this is true. I was hearing this from a couple people I know that Jameis Winston is no longer there and Tom Brady is going there.
No, it's all the love because it's been not holding. If company did sign with Tampa Bay, ESPN had all over.
Well, yeah, I think what he's saying is his hearsay. It's not confirmed. Yeah, it's not confirmed. Talks are in.
I heard that's what was going on.
Now I did hear Winston will probably be out though.
I'm sure he is. 30 TDs, 30 interceptions. 1 for 1. That don't work in the NFL, ladies and gentlemen.
And your Jaguars got a new offensive coordinator, Jake Gruden. We're glad that we got rid of him. Glad that you Jaguars picked him up.
Thanks, Mike, for that. Thanks for that, guy. Thanks, Mike, for that piece of news.
Yeah,
that piece of news is really good. Him smoking some Marijuana.
So it was kind of like a good trade.
Well, at least Jack don't smoke Marijuana. Anyway, Hospice Addicts is in Gainesville.
And then you got the coach from the Dallas Cowboys is actually going to be offensive coordinator for the Giants. Jason Garrett.
Yep, that's exactly right.
I'm telling you, Jason Garrett is a good coach. He may not be a good head
just one
coach,
of those brothers that's going this way. You know what I mean?
So,
Confederate flag looks like a Spanish flag.
Pretty close.
Yep, totally agree with that. New England needs to stay home. Yep, I agree. Note to Spanish monarchy. I'm happy to visit who?
I don't know how to say that.
Badajoz.
Wait a minute. You're Hispanic and you don't know how to say that?
Heck no, man. He's got me on this one. From what I heard, he is going.
And nobody knows how to say Mo.
Okay. Badajoz. Okay. From what I heard, he is going to the Raiders. Well, that's all up in the air as well. So that's something we'll see. We'll talk about that in sports as we get there. Let's go into some local news right here. I'm going to bring in our local news guy, Mr. Mitchell Gunner. He's going to give us some local stuff. Then we're going to delve into some national things. And then we're going to get into some sports. Again, thank Jimmy Clark and his lovely daughter, Natalie, for being here from Clark Hill. That was a great little mini concert they put on right there, I tell you.
I love live performances
Me too.
Like that. Especially when you have two people that can harmonize like that. Yeah. You get a male voice together with a female voice, and they know each other as well as obviously father-daughter does.
Yes.
It normally is really good.
Yeah.
Felt like I was sitting around a campfire with a bunch of buddies.
That's it right there. Yep. All right, what you got?
That's the way it should be. It should feel, by the way. Yep.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and get into something that's kind of serious that is going around on the internet. It's a challenge for young kids on TikTok, and that is that they will take an electrical outlet that's got something plugged in, and they drop a coin, and they record it, and they put it out there on the internet for everyone to look at. You know, this is a very dangerous situation for kids to be doing this. They can catch their house on fire for something as stupid as that, dropping a coin across the neutral and the hot of a receptacle. You know, I mean, I don't know what is going on with our youth, but I think it's time they start putting down their phones and putting up their Xbox and getting outside and doing some old-fashioned playing out there in the yard, picking up the football, the baseball.
Kick the soccer ball, something.
Right, and get away from all this bull.
You're going to do that, find a rake and give them to the leaves.
Right. I mean, this is actually brought up on CBS 4 in Gainesville. And they actually came over here to Bradford County and talked to Brad Smith about it as well.
Is it really that bad? Is there that many kids actually doing that?
We've got kids that they believe everything they see on the internet they need to do. And I mean it's just a terrible situation.
Let me just chime in on this TikTok thing real quick. So when you post something on TikTok, it's very different from Facebook.
Yes.
Facebook, when you post something on Facebook, David, you can see what I post on Facebook because we're friends.
Right.
If someone from China were to search my name, they can't see my post because we're not friends.
Right.
TikTok automatically can be seen by any person who has the app.
Oh,
I have seen videos on TikTok that have been viewed by 10 million people in 3 days.
Wow.
Right.
And that
Wow.
that is not having to be friends, not having to follow. It is instantaneous.
It's wide open.
So
Wide
when
open.
you think of, it took weeks, almost a few months for this whole Tide Pod thing to really get to full spectrum. This outlet current thing has taken a week.
Wow.
And it is worldwide.
Right.
Just because it is that instantaneous when you post something.
And the only thing that they're trying to post is drop a quarter or nickel across there and record the sparks coming out of it.
Right.
You know, they think
Right.
it's something really good, and they actually don't understand the repercussions, what can really happen. They can get shocked, or they can catch that outlet on fire that will internally catch their house on fire.
Right.
So sit down with your kids and talk about these matters like this, and tell them don't be doing. It's plumb ridiculous.
Actually, Start Fire Rescue did a public safety thing about that very video thing on
Right.
their page last week. So people that like some safety information can visit Start Fire Rescue's Facebook page for
Right.
more information.
Like Michael Heater was saying, visit Start Fire Rescue
Yeah.
Facebook page. And
Mhm.
you can see it. They've done a little special on it. Another thing, I want to please reach out and thank Jeff Look again.
Yep.
Getting more stuff taken care of in the city of Stark. This past week, I think it was Thursday and Friday, they tore down the old KFC, and that was also a Chinese restaurant at one time.
Right.
Was a really big eyesore, and thank goodness that thing's gone.
That thing
And
was
it just makes the city of Stark look a whole lot better with people coming in and driving by here daily. Another thing that I want to address that's a real big issue, and it upsets me greatly, because parents, if you're listening to this, if you don't think that the school system affects our economy and bringing businesses into Bradford County, you're wrong. Businesses, that is the first thing that they look at.
Right.
Is look at our schools and see what's happening, what our grades are in our school, and our attendance issue. And I'll tell you what, we got an attendance issue problem going on right now, as many of y'all may have picked up the Bradford County Telegraph and looked at it. I'm just shocked. At the Bradford High School, 265 kids are under review. Bradford Middle School, 167. Southside Elementary, 120. Stark Elementary, 106. Laudy, 15. Hampton, 28. And Brooker, 20.
If my math is right, that's over 500 and something kids.
That's correct.
What in the heck is going on here in our school and our community with this attendance? Bull.
And just talk about absences 10 days or more. At the Bradford High School, 105 students has more than 10 absences this year. 56 at the middle school, 39 at Southside Elementary, 24 at Stark Elementary, 3 at Laudy, 6 at Hampton, and 5 in Brooker. And just remember, Hampton and Brooker are very small schools anyway. So there's not a whole lot of students that go there.
I was about to say, that's a pretty good portion of their student body.
And to break it down by percentages, population of those, that I was talking about, those that are under attendance review, that is 33.6% at the high school, 24.7% at the middle, 23.2% at Southside Elementary,
7%,
22.5% at Stark Elementary, 7.4% at Laudy, 14.7% in Hampton, and 16.7% at Brooker.
Is there such thing as a truancy officer?
That's what I was going to say.
And,
what are they doing?
They are actually starting to take people to court, which they should. And I want to go ahead and put it out there. Now, if you're a high school student, you're pretty much at the age when you get up to your junior and senior year of high school, you can get your butt up and you can dress it and you can get out there and catch that school bus.
Yep.
But when we start looking at the middle school all the way on to the elementary schools,
that's mom and dad.
The problem is the parents.
Yep.
They're not making sure that their kids are getting to school on time. And I'll tell you, I had a problem with this with with my son. At one time, he was having a lot of problems with attendance, and so he resides with me, and I won't tolerate it because I'll tell you that kid has not missed one day of school since he has lived in my house, and he has not been tardy not once since he lived in my house.
It's possible to do that.
And it is very possible to do it. And there's no sense in these kids missing school like that. None at all.
No, that is none. No.
The school district was in truancy court again on January the 13th with 11 students, and all will require to return in February. If their attendance does not improve, 4 of the 11 will have returning appearances in truancy court. So they're buckling down on it. I mean, it's a real big article, and I know we don't have time to get over all of it. But if you pick up the Telegraph, it's very interesting for you to read, because I'm telling you, it does affect our community when this happens, and it does affect your child. I just wanted to put it out like this: if you take your kid to school, and he is late or she's late by 30 minutes, they have missed 30 minutes of instruction time in class.
Right. Sure.
So this teacher has to go back to your child, stop what he or she is doing, go back all over the directions again after that student has disrupted class, and have to get that child called all back up before they can get back into the routine of things. And I'll tell you something, by doing this, by not making your kids to go to school or be at school on time, they're not going to have a really good attendance record when it comes working, when they become adults, because that will perspire over as their adulthood happens. So all I can do is say, please get your kids to school.
Yeah.
Don't let them miss out. This is their best time in life right here.
Yep.
It's going to school, because after that, it's nothing but work and supporting yourself, and then you get married, then you got to support a family. There's no more fun time.
No.
Once you
enjoy your school
work.
time
That's
to
right.
include college time. Get yourself and go to college. College is some of the funnest. I got to go for about a year, and then of course I went into the military. But people that have gone to college, I hear that's the funnest time of their life right there. Yeah, and see right here. You have to see. So enjoy. Oh, me too. Me too. Absolutely.
And I want to tell you,
if I could relive those days again.
Alvarez is not going to put up with it. That she is part of the school attendance review board.
Yep.
And they're going through this with a fine-tooth comb, and they're double checking. And I'll tell you, you may say, well, my student's no longer going to go to school, and I'm going to put him in homeschool. But you know what? If your child's went to truancy court, you will have to go back to truancy court with that child with the paperwork in hand to show that student's going to homeschool. If not, there's going to be repercussions for the parent.
Gotcha. Hey, I'm all with it.
So
preaching to the choir here, brother. I'm telling you.
So please send your kids to school. Don't. I mean,
you
heard everybody.
So going along with the numbers that you just gave for the high school, that is roughly 10 students out of every class.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes, that is correct.
That is correct.
That's correct, because the high school, they have, let's see, I want to say 789 students at the high school.
If you divide that by the amount of teachers, that is roughly 10 students
per class.
Now imagine the disruption.
Oh, yeah.
10 students were to walk in class at one time.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So now, now you're taking that 265 or 56, whatever the number was, you're taking that, and now you're making it the full 756 that are actually enrolled in school and disrupting them.
Right.
And they're learning.
Well, you disrupt. I think what you're trying to say, you disrupt the whole flow of everything. It's the whole flow.
And here's the other thing that you can imagine, because I know this would happen, because I used to teach school. Imagine what would happen if we did things the way we used to do when people walked in the classroom like that. We didn't do anything. We just kept on teaching the lessons.
Right, they had to catch up on their own.
And they had to catch up on their own.
Yeah.
Imagine what would happen if teachers started doing that, and how much crud they would take.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There'd be backlash out of that for sure.
I don't teach anymore, but I can tell you what I do. I'm not interrupting my classroom to go back over the information that I've already been over in this classroom with your child because he cannot make it or she cannot make it into my classroom and disrupt the learning process of the people here that care.
Right.
Well, that's fair.
Yeah, and that is fair. That's all nothing but fair. Hey, go back and ask one of your fellow classmates what you missed. See if he or she'll give you that information.
Well, I mean, if you want to ask me what you missed at the end of class or at the end of the day, I'll be glad to tell you what that is. But don't be late to the next class because your next teacher is going to get mad at you too.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm not going back over.
I want to break it down a little bit right here. At Brooker Elementary School, right now there are 20 students that are under school attendance review board. 20 of them.
20
at
where? Brooker.
Brooker. At Brooker, and you know
they only got 56 students, don't they?
That's a very small school. Hampton Elementary School has 28 students in the SARB process, and 6 of those have 10 days or more in absences.
Wow.
And I want to tell you something about these absences. If your student misses X number of days, it doesn't matter if that kid is a straight A honor roll student. That student will have straight Fs just because of the attendance problem. It doesn't matter how smart he or she is.
Right.
They automatically fail. Lawdy Elementary has 15 in process, and 3 of those have 10+ days of missing. Stark Elementary has 106 students, like I said. 24 of them are 10 days or more.
106. That's a quarter.
Southside Elementary School, 120, and they have 39 students that has 10 or more days absent.
Oh Lord.
So
I'm sorry. There is no excuse for that. No excuse. There is no excuse for that number.
Is the parents' fault?
Well, when you get into your elementary and middle school,
bunch of them.
I say a lot of that is 100% the parents' fault.
Yeah.
Because once they get into high school, they have enough of responsibility. They can set their alarm clock. They can get up and dress themselves if their mom and dad has to go on into work.
Right.
And be responsible of catching that school bus.
Grew up, but when I was 7, I didn't hop in my Toyota Corolla and drive myself to school.
No.
Well,
no.
Exactly.
Here's the other thing. There are some cases where these kids are chronically missing school like this because of illness. They can't go because they're sick. But the number that we're talking about can't reflect that.
No, because these are unexcused.
No, those are just that's all unexcused.
Excused.
Okay,
yeah,
never mind.
yeah, those are unexcused.
They're not excused.
So, and they're now, mind you, the excused absences are very, very. They're closely monitored.
Right.
And you can't get because a lot of people, you know, they made it when I was in high school. The rules changed just a few years ago to where when I first started high school, my freshman year, you could have as many parent notes as you want, and then once you were done with your excused absences,
that was it.
You moved to unexcused.
Excused that. You're right.
They changed it my sophomore year to where you could only out of your 10 excused absences that you were allowed per semester.
Right.
Only 3 of those were allowed to be parent notes because people were just writing parent notes.
Right. Correct. Right.
All 10 days.
Right.
And so then they started to limit it. So I mean, for some of these people, they have a lot of school to miss to get past those first 10 days and then move into all of these other days that they're
well, here's the problem, guys. Dave, when me and you was going to school, you know, and all of us was going to school, we're within 10 to 15 or 20 years of each other. Right? Yeah, speak for yourself, David. Speak for your dadgum self. But anyway, when we was going to school, 3 days every semester is all I could miss, excused or unexcused. You know what's happened? Over the years, we've increased those days. Oh, now it goes from 3 to 6. You can miss 6. Now it goes from 6 to 12. Now they give you so many days that you're allowed to miss.
Right.
And now it's become a problem because what? You can almost miss what? What is it, almost half a semester now? And as long as you get your work done, you can pass. I mean, you almost don't have to be in class anymore.
You're only allowed to miss a certain amount of days per 9 weeks.
Yeah, they broke it down to 9 weeks. Okay, all right, okay.
Well, you think of previous change, I know that they changed the starting of the school hours to give them a little more time to sleep in, to get the students up and ready, because 6 o'clock in the morning was a little early for kids to catch a school bus. So they've changed things, but it's actually progressing worse now with the changes than what we had when we were growing up.
Right.
So I don't know that.
Hey, you know what that means? We're in audience-driven overtime, ladies and gentlemen, right here in Mitchell Gunner's segment right here with the local stuff. ADO, baby. Y'all say what you want to say. This is your chance right here. Let's do this thing. ADO. How about it, Byron Bagwell?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Go ahead on and get to the middle school now. Like I was saying, 56 of them are under review, and we have 10 that have unexcused absences there that are 10 or more days. And the Bradford High School, I mean, it's just totally outrageous.
No.
265 kids being reviewed for attendance. There's no sense in it whatsoever. And 105 of those students have 10 or more absences.
Jim-a-netty. Man, come on, man. The number. Okay, do you have any good numbers there, Mitchell? Oh my God.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Oh,
that is
no,
right.
that's right. I'm
That
just
is right.
saying that. Are you kidding me?
We need the number of parents that are sitting up here with Gordon right now.
With Gordon
for a
right
couple
now.
of days.
Yeah.
So basically what you're telling me is that since the first day of school in August to right now in the middle of January, that there are
105 students
days
that have
in the
missed.
school year.
Correct.
And we have 1,050 more than 10 days unexcused absences.
That is correct.
That is 10 times the amount of
That is correct.
It's ridiculous.
That's absurd. And you get 10 freebies.
You get freebies. That's what I'm saying.
10.
So what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to drill down to find out what is the situation, what is the problem leading into this.
The problem is they've gotten softer and softer every year.
Exactly.
And that's what I was just saying.
Like
Yeah.
you were saying,
Yeah.
back in the 1820s,
Oh!
They had to walk up.
Well, I had to take a horse and buggy to
Yeah,
school.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you had to take the horse.
Did you actually meet Thomas Jefferson when you were young?
I did.
Oh, okay.
I did.
He passed.
Yeah.
And I
But
tell you
either
what,
way, that's the problem that the schools are running into. Is what's happening is and to be completely honest with you, I'm not a millennial, but I'm right there with them to where I can say that the parents that are parenting in this generation are soft as can be. I was lucky my parents, if I missed school, my butt was getting beat.
Yep.
Because I missed school.
That's
Whether
right.
I was
Yep.
in kindergarten and I was faking being sick, or I was a senior in high school and my mom got a call in Jacksonville at the prison where she was working that said I wasn't in the class. It
Right.
doesn't matter how old I was. I could have been 18, a senior in high school, and my mom still called me and got mad because I wasn't at school. The problem is some of these parents are saying, oh, well, my kid has this, or my kid has this that they do on the side, so they can't come to school. And the schools are getting so frustrated with all of these parents coming in that they're like, oh, well, we'll go from 3 days to 5, and then we'll go from 5 days to 10. I mean, soon enough, they're going to be able to miss half the freaking school year.
Well, and that's what I'm saying right now.
Sooner or later, people like me are going to go, I'm not supporting this with my tax dollars anymore.
Well, and there you go, and that's exactly right. I'd like to know, does it say how many?
You want your children educated, send them to school and have them educated. If you don't, and you want to do side things, then don't waste my tax money doing it.
I want to ask something right here real quick, Byron. I want to ask Mitchell something. Does it say in this article how many truancy officers we have in the county?
No,
does anybody know? Does anybody know that answer? Let's find that out. I want to know how many truancy officers are in this county. Let me tell you what. Right now, to me, I don't know about to you guys, to me, this sounds like this is out of hand. It's gone too far. Now the truancy officers are trying to play catch up with all this.
Well, I'm going to go ahead
and it's going to be tough to do that. That's why I was wondering how many truancy officers.
They can take this if it's being a really high number of days missing school.
Right.
They can get DCF involved, and they can get you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Didn't they used to find parents?
They used to find parents. Yeah. That's why I was wondering where that
That's
happened.
what needs to happen.
Because it's neglect.
Well, absolutely. And I'm all for having truancy officers, and I'm all for them helping in the way that we can bring our students to schools and get them taught and get them educated. But in all reality, we should not have to have a truancy officer to make sure a parent.
Well, no, that's
yeah.
It's not the truancy's officer's fault. Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Well,
I mean, good
back
luck.
in the day, though,
Good luck
I
with
mean,
that.
you're talking 50 years ago. Did we have truancy officers at every single school?
No, I didn't even know what a truancy officer was. We come to school. You know who took care of that? The principal. The principal. And mom and dad.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
John, we just talked about a lady that called 911 3 days in a row to get a officer to the school to get her child out of the car to go to class. Now, you know as well as I do, in my day, my mama would have grabbed that ear. She'd have tweaked it up good and tight. And she would have drugged me to homeroom class.
And sit there with you.
I sat there for the first hour just to make sure I wasn't going nowhere.
Listen, my mama would have stayed parked in the front of that line at that school.
Until you went
and every parent and every teacher saw her drag me into that
My
class.
mother wouldn't have had to do that. All she'd have had to do was say, wait till your dad gets home and I tell him what you're doing to me.
Right. And that's exactly
all
right.
she would have had to do, and she wouldn't have had that anyway. She'd have got a hold of me anyway. Go find a switch.
We got Roger.
The best thing about it, the kids on the cell phone. In the old days,
I agree a little bit.
This thing right here
is dangerous to everybody.
It doesn't need that needs to be
banned.
Yeah,
that's in school situations.
In classrooms, period.
But you're talking two different things. You're talking cell phones in classroom. We're talking about trying to get kids just to attend to the class.
And see,
he texted buddy, hey, come pick me up. Normally he get to on campus.
Right.
He tell your buddy, come pick me up.
All right, well, you got it.
Well, one of the things that upsets me about, this right here, the attendance problem, is that, our school, it gets rated grades.
Yeah.
Okay. And it hurts our teachers when they try to get raises because they are promoted pretty much from the school. The school's funding and everything comes from Tallahassee.
Right.
And they get penalized. Our school gets penalized because some of our parents cannot send our kids to school and they can't pass a certain test that they have to take.
I'll tell you what, let's get into more of this on Tuesday night.
Definitely.
Let's do this. Find out how many truance officers we have in this county. I'd like to know. And then let's delve more into this. This is a subject that we can care of. We're going to leave this as a cliffhanger for you on Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. So come back, and Mitchell Gunner will have the information on this truancy problem that we have in Bradford County.
Before we move on from this, let's read some of the comments from the viewers.
All right, thank y'all all, Byron, for a long time, David in the CWA. No problem, Archie. We'll try to help as best as we can. No one gets to stop eating top. That's the White Allen. There you go. Gerald Smith, thank you. Randolph Denny, thank you for joining us. Patricia, thank you. Are there rules about days absence and being able to pass into the next higher grade? Miss too many days, don't advance. Yes, there is. And we'll get into that, Renee, here on Tuesday. I know when me and you was going to school in Pascagoula, I told you, we only had 3 days per semester. So, we were always in school. Let's see. No, I ran in my senior year in high school to be in time until the speed patrol stopped me a couple of times. Well, you just got to get up early and make sure you get to school, man, a little bit earlier, man. Don't get in trouble with that. Elementary is one thing and middle school is another.
One thing I can say, if my 6-year-old can get up and get ready for school at 5:30 in the daggum morning, there is no reason why a high school or middle school student can't get their self up and start getting themselves dressed.
Yeah, I agree.
One final thing. It's different if you live in Jacksonville when school starts at 7:10.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah.
At 8:30 here.
Yes. Yeah.
No reason.
Not in elementary, it doesn't.
Well, not in elementary, but where you
middle school and high school. Yeah, yes, and that's exactly right. Yeah. When you say the parents should be responsible, you have to remember that their buddies, they're telling them to send school, maybe they would rather shop with their buddy. Well, that's what Roger was trying to say. I guess one buddy calling another saying, hey, let's skip school. But hey, that's still all in all, to me, still comes down to the parent. It doesn't matter. You've got to make sure that your kid is in school. And if you can't handle it, you need to find somebody else that can help you handle it.
Noah Gibson, I failed a college class for the exact reason you're saying right there. I caught pneumonia, and the professor would not take the actual note from my doctor.
Wrong. That's wrong.
That may be wrong.
Yeah, it's wrong. But
that may be
happened.
Wrong.
But it's discipline.
Yes, it is.
But he said in the beginning of that class, and I could have dropped that class when he said it, that if you miss more than 2 days of school, and I don't care what happens with this class, not school, if you miss more than 2 days of this class, you're not passing it.
Right.
So
Noah says he doesn't want to say.
Right, but at the same time, he told everybody what was going on,
right,
and that happened.
Want to get through these comments here real quick. I do not want to sit with Sheriff Gordon unless it's a fair or fun function. Exactly. They changed the grade chart so fewer kids would fail. That's the White Island, absolutely. I'm a last batch of millennials, and my parents are old school, literally. Yeah, well, there you go. Hey, we're all old school parents too, and all of our kids made sure that they got to school on time. I don't think anybody here had a problem, do they? Hey, our kids went to school, so because you know what, we're involved with our kids' lives, we're involved with our kids' functions in schools, and you need to be. So
you have to be.
Hey guys, hey Anthony, how are you? Pay attention, Roger, Nicole, how you doing, Anthony? Everybody's back. Shannon. Yeah.
Welcome in, Shannon.
Welcome in. Who else? No, the parent is the buddy. Well, that's part of the problem in raising your kids today. That's what the parent wants to be. Oh, this is my best friend. Really? Right. No.
Don't be the Willie Taggart.
Yeah. Don't be the Willie Taggart. Yeah, of parenting. That's exactly right.
I have to hear that name again, man.
All right, just hush. There you go.
I got one more thing, and we'll be done with local.
Okay, go ahead.
I just want to let everybody know that the Lawdy Festival will return.
Okay.
It's almost time for it.
Really?
Mm-hmm. The date is going to be March the 14th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. They're looking for exciting new events. The public is invited to come enjoy the day of fun with family and friends. If you are interested in participating, please contact the Lawdy City Hall at 904-782-3454.
There you go. Lawdy Festival coming back. Here we are. All right. Thank you, Mitchell, for that wrap up. We're going to get into some more of this school attendance on next Tuesday night as well, along with some other local stuff, right, Mitchell, that you're working on as well. Now, we're going to get to a segment, Mr. Byron Bagwell, fighting for our freedoms and our rights and everything else that goes along with it. We're going to get into some national news. Of course, one of the biggest news and topics going on right now is the impeachment trial of President Donald Trump. If you've been under a rock for 120 years, like me, you know, back in the school day, as John said, I went to school in 1820, as he says. So, John, I see you laughing over there. But anyway, that's the main topic going on right now as far as our national deals going on. Mr. Byron Bagwell has been looking at some stuff, researching some things. And Byron, what you got for us on this and whatever else you want to speak about tonight?
Well, we beat on impeachment for the last two or three shows.
Right.
And I don't want to beat on that too much tonight because America got enough of it this week. But if you didn't get a chance to watch what went on earlier today, you need to go back and watch it. I didn't get a chance to watch it because I was being involved in some Sound of Freedom activity today.
I wish I could have been.
Well, you had to work. You were going to come, but you didn't. But anyway, President Trump's team basically has gone on for about 3 hours in the Senate today. And they've said in 3 hours things that refute every single thing that has been going on for the past 24 hours of testimony from Adam Schiff, Jerry Nadler, and I can't remember that other lady's name because I just don't know her. I don't know who that Congress lady is that was testifying to. She's one of the impeachment managers.
Right.
But sit there and listen to some of that, actually watch some of that stuff that Adam Schiff and Jerry Nadler was saying. And it was full of half-truths and basic outright lies. He made up half the stuff he was saying, just like he did before the impeachment actually happened. He made up things that Donald Trump was supposed to say. Now it's over in the Senate. The defense has come on and rebutted every single thing. There's no way the man's getting impeached. There's no way. Sorry, this is over with. And what's going to happen, I really believe what's going to happen is they're going to get finished with their testimony, which ends tomorrow.
Right.
Or not testimony, defense.
Defense.
It's going to come to a vote whether they're going to have witnesses. And Mitch McConnell is going to look at that person that's on the other side of him, and he's going to say to him, no, I'm not even bringing it up for a vote. You can say what you want, Chuck Schumer, and do what you want, but it's over. I've already talked to all of the Republican senators. They're not going to vote for it, so I don't even need to bring it up for a vote. Here's what I am going to bring up for a vote: dismissing these charges.
Right.
And they're going to dismiss the charges. And the Democrat politicians and the media that basically support and run them are going to go crazy. Oh, it wasn't fair. It wasn't fair from the beginning. I've heard this 4 or 5 times that Mitch McConnell said he was going to coordinate with the White House. He's going to coordinate with the White House. So if you don't know what goes on with an impeachment trial, basically the impeachment hearings is like a trial in the Senate. What happens is the actual person that's the majority lead in the Senate has to gather up all this information about what's going on with both sides. So if Mitch McConnell's not supposed to actually coordinate with the White House about their defense, who is the White House supposed to coordinate about their defense with?
Question. Yeah.
I've heard this multiple times, and I've actually talked to some people on Ted Yoho's website that were blasting this, and I said, who is the White House supposed to give their defense to? How are they supposed to coordinate who's going to have this time and that time, and who's supposed to be in that Senate trial defending the president? How is he supposed to know without Mitch McConnell actually talking to the White House about who's doing that? But see, what's going on is the media spent that to make people believe that Mitch McConnell's already made up his mind. Mitch McConnell hasn't made up his mind about anything. Mitch McConnell is the biggest policy and what is the word I'm looking for? No. He's policy and it's the way things work. Procedures. He is the biggest policy and procedure wonk I have ever seen in my life. Sometimes to the detriment of his party. Because he's going to go up there and he's going to run that Senate impeachment trial exactly the way they have done those things in the past. And he's going to take things from the Clinton impeachment and the Nixon impeachment, and he may even go back further than that and go the last one, the first one, which was Johnson. And he's going to take those things and he's going to go, what did they do?
Right.
And then he's going to look at it and say, I'm going to combine those things that we do, and I'm going to go about doing it that way because that's the way it's supposed to be done. That's the way Mitch McConnell functions. Mitch McConnell Mitch McConnell's a bureaucrat. He's not he is not a conservative. He is not really even a Republican. Mitch McConnell is a bureaucrat. So he takes all of this information, and they do what they need to do. That's one of the biggest myths I wanted to dispel tonight, because Mitch McConnell hadn't made up his mind about anything, because you have to have somebody that coordinates all of that, and they have to get the information coming from the White House for their defense in front of the Senate. So that should help some people that have a misunderstanding about what Mitch McConnell is doing. I've had major issues with what Mitch McConnell has done in the past. but it's all because of the way he runs things. He's very formal, and he believes that the procedures should stand, and everything that about being the leader of the majority in the Senate should be a certain way, and it's done with tradition. It's done everything else.
Right.
You don't speak out. If you think something's wrong, you don't really say much. But that's Mitch McConnell. Now, there are the other things that have been said and done in this trial, and we've talked about some of them, about the phone call. The two biggest pieces of evidence for a fact that just basically make all of this nonsense is, number one, the transcript phone call that was released. There's no crime in it. There's no quid pro quo. There's no bribery. There's no high crime. There's no misdemeanor. There's no nothing in that at all. He said, I would like you to investigate what happened with Burisma, and I cannot remember the other one. There's another company that was going on about doing some messed up things with American citizens. The other thing that I want to tell you about this is, yes, Joe Biden is a presidential candidate. Joe Biden is also an American citizen. And President Trump, if he thinks somebody is doing something illegal in another country, and that is an American citizen, and I don't care if he's running against him for president or not, or running in the primary. He's not running for president, even though I really believe he's going to be the eventual nominee.
No way.
I really believe they're going to put Biden in it, and the reason I believe that is because the Senate crap is still going on, and the rest of them can't run.
Right.
So what? Not the rest of them, but there's three or four major candidates are not being able to go to some of these caucuses that are going on. So what's basically, he is an American citizen, and if he and his family are committing crimes, Donald Trump has a responsibility to his office to request that they look into it. Now, you say what you want to about that. I don't really care. One of his functions is to make sure that our laws are being enforced.
Right.
And that is one thing that I'm really truly saddened to say that Donald Trump really hasn't done, because he should have gone to the Senate multiple times, the Congress multiple times in State of the Union addresses, and looked at Nancy Pelosi, especially with the border stuff that went on, and went, you will enforce our laws. You wrote them. The Congress passed them. The Senate passed them. Presidents have signed them. That is our laws. You won't break our laws.
Right.
We won't have you doing it. We won't have you blocking funding for our laws. If you read that part of the Constitution, it actually says that he is supposed to make sure that our laws are being followed.
Right.
And that's part of it. Look, the whole thing, it boils down to one thing. And this may sound a little bit juvenile, but it's the honest truth. Donald Trump won an election that he was not supposed to win against a candidate he was not supposed to be able to win against. And he stomped an electoral landslide on her in this last election. And that hurt a lot of people's feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Now, those people that voted for Donald Trump aren't going to listen to this and aren't going to put up with this. If you look at the numbers of people that are registering Republican in the states now.
Can I say something?
Yeah, I know.
Just in Bradford County, last month, 62 people registered as Republicans.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
40,000+ people this year have registered as Republicans in the state of Florida. 10,000 people have registered as Democrats. How many of those switched from Democrat to Republican?
Right.
How many of those are voting for the first time because they can't stand to see what's going on right now?
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. There's a lot of people. Look, you can have your own political views. You can believe what's right is what's right. But when you start messing with our justice system to the point that they're messing with our justice system right now, it becomes two-tiered.
Yes, it does.
And it also starts throwing us into a constitutional crisis. Because once the Congress starts stripping the judiciary of its power, which it did by not allowing Donald Trump to have his day in court to defend his executive privilege that he was using, which, by the way, is law, and rushed this impeachment through, they stripped the judiciary of their power. You can laugh if you want to. People have laughed at me for saying that. I don't. They stripped one of the three co-equal branches of our government's power away from it because they wanted to impeach this man because he beat Hillary Clinton. They've been saying it since before he was elected that if he got elected, they were going to impeach him. They have no reason to impeach him. He's not committed any crimes, and now we're getting this. Now we've got a group of congressmen, and we talked about this, that have gone up and basically told the Senate how they're going to run this investigation. I'm sorry. I know how much of a policy wonk and a procedure wonk Mitch McConnell is. But I believe I would have stopped the hearings right then. And I believe I would have looked at them and gone, you are congressmen. We are senators. Our branches are co-equal.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to tell me how to run this. And a matter of fact, if you cannot do this with more respect than you and Jerry Nadler have done, you can take both of yourselves right on out of this this body right now. And if you don't like that, you don't think I can do that, the Sergeant at Arms is right there.
Right here. Yeah.
And he will do as I tell him to do. And I will have you removed. Because some of the things that Jerry Nadler and Schiff said to these senators,
pencil neck geek,
was downright dumb.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why it was downright dumb, because if you ever wanted to convince some of those middle of borderline Republicans to actually look at this in a different light than not following the evidence, and you wanted to see the feel-good side of Donald Trump's an evil man and he should never be there and all this nonsense, you don't go into that body and tell them what they're going to do and how corrupt they'll be if they don't do it. That was a mistake. That was a horrible mistake. And these two people are supposed to be lawyers. Neither one of these people I would pay to save me from a parking ticket after that. I looked at that and went, are you kidding me? What is wrong with you two? I did. I looked at it and went, are you kidding me? You're sitting there insulting these senators, man. I couldn't believe it. Man. I just went, wow.
Yeah, yes, no, we're on some national news. I'm sorry, man. Save you from a what? A parking ticket.
Parking ticket. I'm telling you.
Oh my God.
After listening to the way, if he could talk to those senators who are sitting basically in judgment of this, he's going to talk to a judge the same way. What an idiot. I mean, I'm sorry. That was idiotic. No. That was stupid. That was just stupid.
And we are on national news, right? Impeachment is a witch hunt. And I'm going to say something with all the guys that are sitting in here.
It's worse than a witch hunt. It's a blind power grab to make the Congress more powerful than it actually is.
Out of the two gentlemen and ladies that are here, out of those two articles of impeachment that they brought upon our president, do all of y'all think that they have proved anything?
David,
have they proved anything? Have they? I'll tell you what they proved. What they proved, Michael Heater?
How incredibly ignorant.
Well, I'll be dadgum. But hang on. Yeah.
I don't agree with that. I believe
Go ahead.
The statement you're making is true about some of their constituents.
Yeah.
I don't believe that the Democrat Party is ignorant at all. I believe they're power-hungry tyrants that are doing this on purpose for a reason. And part of that reason that they went and did that was so that they could actually gain more seats in the Senate.
Right. Yep.
And there's some other.
It's a political game, ladies and gentlemen.
It's a game. They're playing a game. But the thing is they're playing a game with our Constitution and our way of law. Now, here's the problem, and I've said this last week. Here's the problem. the next Democrat president, what is to say if the Republicans hold the Congress, what is to say that they can't make up this amount of nonsense and impeach him and drag this country through this again?
You're right. All right. The Dems' evidence is a farce, Trump 2020. Jimmy Crosby, thank you for joining us. David Kilgore, I'm going to say it. I hate bureaucrats. Okay. Yeah, bureaucrats are not what? America, well, I can't read. Yeah, okay. Yeah, meritocracy. Yeah, it's a promotion based on me. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Democrats are the only ones that seem to be above the law. They've been exposed and have never been prosecuted. This needs to stop. I don't care what party affiliation a politician has. If they are breaking the law, they need to be held accountable.
I can tell you another one. Unfortunately, he's dead right now.
Yep.
Because he's part of the reason this is going on, and that's John McCain. He is the one that spread this Steele dossier.
The Steele dossier, yep. I would have lambasted the senators listening to this garbage. They proved that our patience is short with them. Renee, they've proven they're rabid idiots, hell-bent in their hatred of DJT.
It's TDS. Yeah. It's Trump derangement syndrome. It's unbelievable to me because these people are the politicians are not the ones that have that. Is their constituents because they've been brainwashed into believing this nonsense.
And you just hit the nail on the head, Byron. I don't think they're really concerned and really impeaching Donald Trump anyway. No. I think what they want to do is keep on telling these lies over and over and over. And they think that, hey, we can brainwash the American people and we can change the outcome of 2020.
We can sway, yes.
But I want to tell you, it's not. And you can see those numbers like we were talking about. Those Republican numbers keep on going up. Democrat numbers are going down in a lot of counties, not just here in the state of Florida,
everywhere,
but throughout the United States.
Everywhere.
Because they're the same way. Even some of these people are Democrats are saying, hey, I'm afraid they're going to strip me of my Second Amendment. If they take my Second Amendment away, what else are they going to try to do?
Yeah.
Really quick, you know where that comes from? That comes from Joseph Goebbels. If that name sounds familiar, that was Hitler's propagandist. He said, tell a lie enough times and it becomes the truth.
I hear that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, look, we're going to continue this topic on Tuesday night. This ain't over, ladies and gentlemen, by a long shot. Mr. Byron Bagwell is going to continue to do his research, continuing to do the things that he does to be able to bring his opinion and ours to you. On-the-spot viewers. If you want to chime in, please chime in. You have our email address. Please, any comments, anything that you want to say, please come on and say it. And please also, I want to take this one chance before we get into sports real quick. I want to take this one chance to invite anybody that is a Democrat or liberal. Hey, please come on to our show.
I promise I'll be nice. And Donald,
I would make sure.
None of the above. I know better than that.
Yeah, I know better than that back there in the peanut gallery back there. Yeah. So anyway, I would love to. I promise you, you will get treated with respect. Hey, what's the old saying? We can tend to agree to disagree. Hey, we'll have a little small debate right here. We'll talk. And at the end of the night, hopefully, maybe we can see each other's point of views. Maybe not. But hey, you know what? We're still Americans. We're still people. I'm still going to love you either way. It doesn't matter.
And what I'm going to tell you about this is probably the same thing that I've said on the show before. There's no charge in either one of those articles that rise to the definition of treason, bribery, or high crimes and misdemeanors.
Right.
If this is the other thing, they talk about obstruction of Congress, using his executive privilege to keep some of his cabinet members from coming on. If that is obstruction of Congress, then you could prosecute and impeach every single president that has ever served, because every single one of them from George Washington forward have used it. Every single one of them. There is no there. Oh, and by the way, newsflash real quick. Coronavirus around the world.
Yes.
Okay, they've got 2 cities in China basically quarantined over this. There's 2 cases of it. They've got more now.
You want the
latest.
Yeah, give us the latest, Michael Heater. Come on in.
I'm sorry, Michael. I haven't heard anything about it
That's
early this
fine.
morning.
As of noon local time earlier today in China, 18 cities have been quarantined, affecting 56 million people that are restricted from traveling throughout the Chinese provinces in and around
Shanghai,
and all
Shanghai,
those
yeah.
like that. Over 1,300 people have been diagnosed, 45 deaths, with 3 deaths this afternoon. 1 case has been reported in Australia. 1 case has been reported in Washington State in the United States.
There's 2 of them, right, so far?
Yeah, actually, that makes the second one.
The second one.
So
there's one. There was one in Washington State, and the other one was in New York, correct?
I believe so.
Alabama?
Well, we'll confirm it. But anyway,
All right.
but the travel restrictions for China are growing literally by the hour. Over 56 million people have been restricted to mainland China, and it's not slowing down.
They should be with this.
They should.
Because if you've got any other health problems and you catch this, it's going to kill you.
Yes, it is. Yeah. We're going to follow up, and we'll keep following up, and some of this breaking stuff will be on the spot news as well, right? Which our guys do a great job of keeping up with. You can follow that as well. All right. We're going to delve you into some sports right now, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to On the Spot with David Rodgers. Right along with Mr. Byron Bagwell, Mr. Mitchell Gunner, Mr. Michael Heater, Mr. Roger the Tornado Cruz, Mr. Austin Stevens, Mr. Dave Holland. Hey, back in the peanut gallery back there, Donald Stevens. Hey, Dwight Allen over in the peanut gallery. And Michael Qualls is going to help us out a little bit with some local sports. Bradford Middle School and High School. Do you know why?
Why?
I'm going to tell y'all something. If y'all don't know Mr. Michael Qualls, if you live in or around the football stadium on Friday nights, you're going to hear a unique voice, and you will hear it to the Winn-Dixie parking lot. You know why? Because Michael Qualls is passionate about his Tornadoes. I'm going to tell you right now, when we get up there in that press box, that's all we talk about. We psych each other up, and we're ready to go. He does the stadium announcing, one of the best in the area. I can tell you that for a fact. I know that for a fact. He's one of the best stadium announcers around. He loves his team, but I've heard him give other teams props as well. All the time. He does it. Hey, thanking their fans for coming, making sure they get home safely. Does a wonderful job, Mr. Mike Qualls. You've heard him interject in some of the things that we were talking about. I'm going to turn over to Mr. Michael Qualls right here with some local Bradford Tornadoes and Bradford Middle School news.
All right. Well, good evening, you good people. And let's start it off with some good sports news for you. Starting off this week, the Bradford Middle School Tornado boys basketball team is in the final game. So let's go ahead and give them a big shout out. They will be playing against the Oak Leaf Middle School, and they will be playing for the NFAC championship this Monday night. So good luck to you guys. Also, the Bradford boys and girls basketball season is full swing and getting ready to wind down to the season and getting ready for the playoffs. Let's start off with the ladies Tornadoes' overall record is 13-6. Their district record 5-1. Their home record 7-3 and away 6-3. National rank is 7,359. Florida State ranked 242. They went 2-1 this week. Also, Paxton School for the
studies, the advanced studies. My writing there.
5329. Yes, David's writing's great. That's
that block letter Navy writing.
That writing on wood must have been tough back in the day.
It was bad.
All right. Well, also, guys, to bring you up to date, last night of the 24th, Bradford varsity also played University Christian, and they came away with a win, 56-50 on that one. So the Bradford boys are certainly taking it on. Also, the Bradford girls are going to be coming up, too. They are playing on the 27th, going to be playing in Williston. That's going to be an away game. Also followed by the 28th away. They're going to be playing Swanee High. So definitely, we're all Tornadoes as we sit in this room, and there is nothing better than the Bradford Tornadoes, that's for sure. So if you ain't got a chance to get out and watch these young athletes, get out and check them out, because I tell you, they're all playing their hearts out. They all do it pride for Bradford County. The girls wrestling, they're even getting into the against the districts against Baker County. They're going to have a 2 p.m. weigh-in and 3:30 meet, so we want to invite you guys out to that. It will be at Baker County, and actually that actually, we should have some input on that coming in too.
As a matter of fact, Mike, if I may interrupt on this one.
Go ahead.
Yeah, on the girls weightlifting there, they went over there to that district meet yesterday over in Baker County, and we had 5 girls qualify for the regional meet. So we got 5 girls advancing to regionals. If you can win your regional or place in one of the top 2 spots, you'll be able to go to state. We did have a weightlifting girl last year, Ariana Hankerson, happens to live with us. She was the state champion last year in the unlimited weight class. So maybe we'll have another repeat of that. And as Mike said, all kinds of sports going on. You got some softball and baseball coming up, right?
We also have the BMS baseball going to be playing the 26th against Lake Butler. That's going to be a home game.
Wow.
Starts at 5 o'clock. Want to definitely invite you out for that. Also, we're going to have this week, Wednesday, February 26th, again at Buchholz. That's going to be Bradford baseball schedule. That's going to be a 6 o'clock game too. So we'd love to have you travel with the team and show your support. Boys basketball played tonight. I have not got their score yet against IMG Academy. Waiting to get those scores back. But I tell you, the Bradford Tornadoes varsity team, they are looking good. They're sitting at 12-6 right now for the season. They are ranked 181 in the state of Florida. National ranks 45-97. So head coach Brett Roberts has got that team looking good also. And again, folks, we always want to welcome you out to the games, whether they're home games, whether they're away. Me and my good buddy David Rodgers, we're always up in the booth. We do get a little loud, so if you do sitting in the Winn-Dixie parking lot and you can't make it to the game, hey, just roll the window down. I promise you'll get play-by-play. You're going to know what's going on, and I promise you will know when them tornadoes hit the end zone.
I got to tell you, Mike, sitting in the car in the parking lot there with the radio on and hearing it in the background, that's even better. WAG and Mike.
You get a dual cast.
You get surround sound.
You get surround sound.
That's how it should be when you're going for them tornadoes.
We're proud about it. Yeah, we're proud about our school. All these guys went to Bradford. So we're proud of our school and proud of what they're doing. Just want to take a look. You know, basketball season's in full swing right now. NCAA basketball. I do believe that the Gators are playing Baylor, the number 1 team in the country right now. I don't know how that's going, but hey, maybe Florida can pull off a shocker. Baylor jumped the Gonzaga Bulldogs this week in the polls, at least in the AP poll. I'm just going to go over the top 10 real quick. Baylor's 1, Gonzaga 2, Kansas Jayhawks 3. Did y'all see that bloody mess that happened? It wasn't a bloody mess. Yeah. That fight that happened between Kansas and Kansas State.
That was a good one.
Yes, it was.
Even had somebody get hit with the stool in the head.
Yep.
So they took it all out.
They took it all out. 3 or 4 guys have gotten suspended. That's going to hurt Kansas because I believe 2 or 3 of their main players are suspended, and they're ranked 3 right now. So that's going to hurt them in the long run. Let me tell you a team I'm impressed with right here. Okay, you got it right there. Baylor's beating right now, and they got a good basketball team. They're beating Florida in Gainesville right now, 40-29, and that's at the half right now. So that's Baylor, the number 1 team in the country, up 40-29. Maybe Florida can make a comeback.
Go Gators.
It's not against Baylor. It's going to be hard.
So San Diego State Aztecs, 20-0, the only undefeated Division I team left. They got a good ball club, buddy. Have you seen some of their players? They go, hey, here we go. Their guards, 6'4", 6'5", starting point guards. Then their forwards, 6'9", 6'10", and their center is either 6'11" or 7 foot. These guys can play. Very good basketball team right there. The number 5th team in the country is something that we've got to discuss because that's about the only thing that I've had to have pride in the several. The Florida State Seminoles are 16-2. Now, Mike, you want to look that up, or Mitchell? They played this afternoon. They played Notre Dame. Notre Dame was supposed to give them a pretty tough game. I don't know if Florida State won that game, but anyway, they're sitting
because
5th.
they do what?
Yeah, they suck.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. Louisville Cardinals are 6.
Beat Florida State
The Dayton Flyers, your Dayton Flyers, brother, are 7th in the country. They're 17-2. And they are awesome, brother. They got a great basketball team. Wow. You watch out for your Dayton Flyers. Halftime, Florida State up on Notre Dame 47-37 right now. So 10-point margin of winning right now, so we'll see what happens.
And guess what? I don't ever remember a time that Florida State was ranked number 1 in the ACC in basketball.
It's been a long time.
But
They were up there, but that's not.
Guess what? They're ranked ahead of Duke, and they're ranked ahead of North Carolina.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah, that is huge.
That's huge for
Speaking
basketball fans.
speaking of the 8th ranked team, that's the Duke Blue Devils. They're inspired here and there. They're then Villanova and Seton Hall is 10th. Michigan State's 11th, and so on. And we'll talk about some more of these other teams. But the thing I wanted to tell you about this whole poll, see if you guys agree. There's really no great team out there. Like we say, man, Duke, man, power. Kentucky, power. North Carolina, power. Kansas, power. But we've had 10 since the basketball season. We've had 10 number ones in the country.
Wow.
It's like every week. And this basketball season started in November. It's like every week. So there's not a great team. There's some good teams. And any one of those teams on this list can take it. To include Florida right now, which is playing very hot. I know they're losing right now, but you can come back. Yeah. But there's any team can win this tournament. That's what that 68-team tournament is all about. Why did I say 68, Mike? Why did I say 68 teams instead of the 64 team?
Because
68 because of the 2 play-in games that they have in Dave's home state over there of Dayton. They have 2 play-in games to determine which seed. Sometimes it's for the 11th seed, sometimes it's for the 16th seed. Just depends on how they do it, the rotation. But those 4 teams will get the final 4 spots because they're so close there. When the bracketology comes out, it's so close. Wow. So they play all those games to see who those pretty much the last 4 in.
That'll be right around the corner, too.
Yeah, it'll be in March. So March Madness coming up right here. But watch out for Florida State. They're going to be a good ball club. They're going to be hard to beat. So we'll see as time folds up.
I heard they were going to invite Willie Taggart to sit in.
All right, here you go. As a matter of fact, there's your Willie Taggart.
Hey, Dave, something else we forgot to talk about this afternoon. We had the Senior Bowl.
Yes, we did.
The North took the Senior Bowl 34-17 over the South. It was good to see LaMichael P. Ryan got him a score running back for the South. Also, we saw Jalen Hurts, who fought the defense pretty much all day because they were all over him, but he did pull off a good score today. North did take the South, however, though, 34-17 in that final.
And you're going to see, this is what Mike was saying, you're going to see some future NFL players that was in that game going to either the draft or maybe some free agency type thing after the draft is done. But there were some great ball players in that North and South game. And as he said, the North won 34-17. Tuesday night and Saturday, I've got a breakdown of the Super Bowl. I broke it all down to the nitty gritty, just like I did that national championship game. I've got numbers by numbers. So we're going to be discussing the Super Bowl next week because it is going to be next Sunday. And that is, if you've been under a rock again or back in 1820 like me, you're going to have the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers. We'll do some picks as well on that. Don't forget, you've got college baseball coming up. As Mike said, you got baseball coming up for our local schools. You've got college baseball coming up, college softball coming up. I know that Florida and Florida State are both ranked in the top 10 on both of those. Both softball, both ladies are ranked in the top 10, and so is the baseball teams.
They always both those.
Yeah, and Florida's had our number lately in baseball. And softball, I think, has evened out just a little bit, hadn't it, here lately?
I think Florida's got them just about
softball, yeah. So that's some things that are coming up. And something that Mitchell's going to get us some information on, track and field. We got track and field coming up for UF. Always got a good squad. Florida State seems to have one every once in a while there. So track and field coming up. So we'll be discussing all those things within our sports. So I just want to go around the table. It's been a great show. I'm glad that y'all tuned in. Not Noah, but Vincent Tucker, could you please put out your how we can get a hold of you on your show there? I believe it's called Z and Tucker and Z out of Arizona. So I'm sure he'll put it up. Dave, if you'll scroll down, maybe he'll put that up. Real quick, the weather.
Tonight, temperatures will drop down 38 to 43 as the model's just updated. And rain will move in, starting in Pascagoula, Mississippi, Sunday night and Sunday afternoon, moving westbound towards us by next weekend.
Wow, all right. Round table real quick. Byron, final thoughts.
Yeah, I've got a really good final
thought.
Okay. To argue with a person who has renounced the use of logic is like administering medication to the dead.
Like it. Amen. Hey, I like it.
Close enough to a founding father. That was
Yeah,
Thomas Paine.
Thomas Paine. Yep. Hey, you're going to help me on the breakdown of the Super Bowl, right? All you guys, we're going to, definitely so.
Defense wins Super Bowls.
Yes, it does. All right.
Chiefs defense will prevail.
Where's John Probst? Okay. So, Mike, final thought.
Final thoughts. We're staying on top of on the side of here.
Yeah, I was looking for John right there. Yeah. I believe the computer went off there, so I just want to make sure that we're good to go there. Sorry about that.
No, final thoughts. We're tracking some local and international breaking news. We're staying on top of it. Anything that happens, we'll have it for you on the spot Tuesday night.
Wow, great. Dave?
I just want to say that gun rally in Virginia turned out to be a peaceful rally.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody got shot.
Nobody got shot. Okay. Mike, real quick.
My words of advice tonight are difficult roads often lead to beautiful destinations.
Like it. That's a good one. Mr. Mitchell Gunner.
Not too much. Just remember, we've got the Relay for Life car show on February the 29th at the Florida Cracker Kitchen. And it's $15 a car. We're going to have a lot of awards, a 50-50 drawing, and door prizes throughout the day. And also, I'll have some updated news. The Hampton Veterans Memorial Fund. We are doing a fundraiser. We're raffling off a 30-06. And I will get all that put on our page so everyone knows who to contact to get tickets and how much those tickets are. I think they're only going to sell 250 tickets for that 30-06.
Gotcha. So good. Looking forward to a car show. Am I judging that, by the way?
I think you're DJing.
Oh, I'm DJing that. Okay. All right. Yeah, I thought I was. Okay. Yeah, I'm DJing it. That's
You're going
good.
to play some of that late 1800 music?
Yeah, I sure am. Swing your partner round and round.
No,
I got you. Do-si-do, baby.
Later than that.
Vincent Tucker. I didn't get into this, Vincent, but I do want to hit it real quick. Vincent Tucker out in Arizona. He tells everybody, all his people, to try to come on our show. I want to help him out and return it. He's a former classmate of mine at Pascagoula, Mississippi, Pascagoula High School. He graduated in 88. I graduated in 80. Yeah. So that's a long time ago, brother, by the way. But anyway, he is pushing right now the SCR mission statement and the SCR mission. Do y'all know what SCR stands for? Anybody? Can anybody tell me? Set, condition, red. It's about, let me see, committing suicide prevention. Right. So it's about reaching out. They're trying to get members for that. You can read this on page
22 a day.
Right here. Yes, and that's exactly right. So, yeah, and that's crazy. So, anyway, you can catch him right there. Hot Topics with Z and Tuck. www.facebook.com/Hot Topic Z Tuck / every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. So he's only one time a week on Thursdays. Mountain Standard Time. So that 7:30 would be 9:30 here. Right? Am I right, gentlemen?
That's correct.
Yeah, Mountain Standard. Yeah. So now, yeah, Mountain Time. So, Renee, what do you have there? Let's see. Hoedowns and harpsichords. There you go. Glad I got my yard work in today.
There's a word I never.
Yeah, I know it. That only Renee.
I would ever hear the term harpsichord on this show.
Well, you're going to meet Renee. She's crazy anyway.
That's all right.
Yeah, I'm glad I got my yard work in today. Knew we were expecting rain tomorrow. Glad to hear it will be in the afternoon. Thanks, Austin. She loves your weather report, by the way. Austin, see how many viewers you're getting? You're getting viewers from all over the Southeast region.
Anyone in the Southeast region, anyone in the United States can message Austin's Weather Services at any time.
Wow.
We do not do weather outside our Southeast region on the Facebook page, but you can message even if you're in California.
Really?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Now, before after you do your closing comments, there's something else you need to talk about, or I need to talk about. You probably need to talk about it because you know a little bit more about it than I do.
Right.
Just go ahead and do your closing comments.
Okay. Yep. Scott Roberts joined us, and Mike Qualls just answered Bart Norton.
Yep.
Oh, I want to mention something.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Roberts, if you don't mind, I know we got that Bluegrass Festival coming up out there at Bella's Barn. If you don't mind, please send us a brochure on it so we can actually put it on our page.
Yes. And I've got one more thing, ladies and gentlemen, on a sad note. And I know Mike Qualls probably knew him. I know Byron did. I think Mitchell did. I want to give condolences and prayers to the Nobles family. A great coach, Coach Buddy Nobles, passed away this past week. He started out over here at Union County, and he was a great coach. I got to meet him. He was a great man. We got to talk a little bit. I wish I would have got to know him better, but he left and went up to Irwin County and turned that program around from a losing record. I believe that team was 1-10 when he took that over. And this year, before he passed, he got his state championship. Wow. And, I know that he was hanging on. If you looked at him, he was in a wheelchair. They was pushing him around. He looked really bad, Dwight, really bad. And what I knew of him, I praised him and adored him. And like I said, he was very knowledgeable in football.
Great coach.
Yes, great coach. You're sorely going to be missed, Coach. And if any of y'all are on here and know the Nobles family, please let them know that from On the Spot with David Rodgers, the whole group here, send our prayers and condolences to you. Casey, all you guys, we love you. And your dad is going to be really missed. But I am so glad that he's taken a state championship to his house in heaven. I tell you, that is a great thing for him to see. So on behalf of On the Spot with David Rodgers and our crew, good night. God bless you. Get ready for a great show on Tuesday, and we'll be back with you then. Have a great and safe weekend and a great start of the work week.
Good night, infidels.
So thank you, guys.